So let's talk about the Yang Gang, something that I find just incredibly fascinating that's going on here. If you don't know, Andrew Yang is a politician, or not politician, rather, he's an entrepreneur that's now running for president on the left for the Democratic Party, for the Democratic nomination to run against Trump. And he's pretty much a nobody in the sense that barely anyone really knows who he is. The Democratic establishment's not going to have his back. He's like a populist kind of running on his own. And in a lot of ways, he seems to be seizing the same momentum that Trump had in 2016. Again, he has a bit of a disadvantage in that even before Trump ran, everyone knew who he was. But in this sense, Andrew Yang is surprisingly prevalent on the internet, despite like being pretty much a nobody like a month or two ago. And being on Joe Rogan, I think, really helped him there. But what's amazing is I don't really know many people that are like really pro Andrew Yang. I don't really know anybody in my social media that is actively like that are part of the Yang Gang. And yet I see the Yang Gang memes everywhere, all over the place. And I picked up an article here. Yang Gang, the memes powering one long shot Democrats' unlikely ascent to the debate stage. And I'm not really going to go through it, but I'll leave it in the description. I think it's something to point out that the news is definitely picking up on this, that this guy has a really good meme game. Like, that's something to point out. Yang Gang is a good hashtag to say. That's something that, like, it's fun to say. It's something that really picks up and spreads around. It's a good meme. Just like MAGA. MAGA is a good saying, like, nice four-letter saying that it's one syllable, or it's two-syllable word, like MAGA, easy to say, and really picked up. So I think like he might actually have a shot here, believe it or not. And I don't even want him to have a shot. I don't really want him to win. But I think it's just incredible to point out the fact that there's momentum here, and to the point that there's such a momentum that he's now influencing me to talk about it and to put the hashtag in my video title and in the description, thus promoting the whole Yang Gang. So he's really manipulating me here there, and I can't really tell if it's him or if it's just some people have co-opted it and really run with it. I don't know, and it doesn't really matter. But the point is, it's very interesting to see the power of memes here. How it's pretty much free advertising on his part, and the memes are all right. Like they're not bad memes, at least the ones I've seen. But so who is Andrew Yang? Again, he's getting free advertising out of me because of this whole Yang Gang meme thing. But he seems to be, he's an entrepreneur. He seems to be running as a like more of a populist, but on the left. He's appealing to that Trump base that's worried about automation, about losing jobs, and he's really taking the time to address their concerns, which like is a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. But what's interesting is like he points out, he's talking about automation is going to remove jobs from society, and eventually like we're going to need something to cater to or to cover the people that are less educated, or like don't have are poor. This kind of people. And I'm not saying that like a bad thing. I'm not saying like to put them down or anything. Just acknowledging reality. Those people will need something in a society that their skills are completely replaced by robots. And his solution here is the universal basic income. The idea that you pretty much scrap the welfare state, you pretty much scrap Social Security and Medicare, and you scrap all these things. You scrap food stamps, all that. You scrap unemployment, and you replace it with $1,000 a month to every human being, or to every U.S. citizen. That is his plan. And now it's an interesting idea. I don't think it'll work. Primarily, like I know Finland tried it, and I haven't heard of. I've heard that the results there weren't very successful. But more the idea, the biggest issue I have with it is the idea that people are saying, "Oh, it'll work as a replacement for the welfare state," because we can all acknowledge that the welfare state is bloated and inefficient and ugly. And imagine if we could just scrap that and start over with the UBI. That, honestly, like if you gave me that option, just scrap the welfare state and replace it with the UBI, I might actually take it. I think that might be a good option. That might actually be better. The issue is, I can't imagine that happening. I really can't imagine, even if we were to say, okay, we will replace it with a universal basic income, I can't imagine politicians, society, government, the people, whatever you call it, being okay with scrapping the welfare state. We might scrap bits here and there. We might scrap food stamps for UBI, but we're not going to get rid of, like, I really don't think we can get rid of a majority of the welfare state and replace it with UBI. I just don't think that's feasible. Even if it would be eventually successful, I don't think we can get to that point where we essentially repeal the bloated, inefficient welfare state for something like this. That's my biggest concern there. And honestly, I don't like the guy very much in terms of politics because, again, he seems to be very, very anti-gun. He was talking about how basically if a criminal gets a hold of a gun from a gun store and then shoots someone, or someone that's not a criminal previously, like someone that passes a background check, gets a gun from a gun store and then becomes a criminal by shooting someone and using that on someone, he's for fining the gun store. He's for he says the gun store should be responsible for that, and I disagree. But he seems to be very rabidly anti-gun, which I'm not a fan of. He said a few other things that I'm not really a fan of. He's definitely left-wing, more left-wing for me, at least. But I just want to point this out, the whole gang thing, that this is important. Memes are surprisingly important in the election, as we've seen from the WikiLeaks documents. The CIA, I believe it's the CIA, actually does have a department of memes in a sense, where they kind of analyze memes, and that's part of it's to combat like the bot farms that they talk about. But for the most part, it's just like, because memes are important, believe it or not. Memes are powerful, and that's why there is, in a sense, I think a legitimate worry of election interference and that. I don't know if it's legit. I don't know if it exists, but I think it's something definitely worth being concerned about. So maybe it's happening, because again, memes are powerful. Memes are you don't have to put out speeches to convince people now. You don't have to put out speeches or lectures or all this stuff. You just got to put out a really good meme, and it will just take the world by storm. It's not even the ideas that are important. If you can take a good idea, and instead of arguing your case, you can put it into a meme that's funny, that's how you make your point. And it seems that's politics now, having a good meme, which is both good and bad in a sense. I love it, but it's also a bit worrisome because, again, all it takes is a good meme, not the actual quality of the idea. But still, this is just incredible how, this is something I think politicians will look at in the future, and you have to look at if you want to win. Trump did not have an active meme game, but his supporters really did. And it's interesting to see how, Poll, it seems that even Poll is on his side. That even Poll, who I thought was incredibly pro-Trump, seems to, and I'll admit, I don't think I've ever been on Poll. I gotta admit, those people seem to be part of the Yang Gang now, and with them as part of it, that's a real asset there. And I know people will probably use that to say, because there do seem to be active, white nationalists and white supremacists supporting the Yang Gang, part of the Yang Gang. And I know people will attack Andrew Yang for that, but I don't think that really hurts him, because, again, even if they weren't, they're going to attack him anyway for it. David Duke recently endorsed, or at least said spoke very highly of Andrew Yang. But, of course, again, what is David Duke's opinion? Does it really matter much? I don't think it really hurt Trump much. David Duke supports Jeremy Corbyn, or he said good things about Jeremy Corbyn. I believe it was David Duke. Maybe that was Andrew Anglin that unironically... It was Andrew Anglin, I think, that unironically endorsed Jeremy Corbyn. But I just saw a David Duke post that said, Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, and Ilhan Omar. 3 left-wing candidates. Is that going to hurt them? I don't think so, because it's something where you're going to get that accusation either way. Is the accusation going to hurt them? Yes. So whether or not they're actually supported by these people, I don't think means anything, because, again, you're going to get that accusation no matter what. Even if you had nothing to do with these people, you'll get accused of, supporting white nationalists like you. What do you say? But it's just really interesting to see his rise, because I don't know if he can win. I don't really think he can win, but I don't think he's going to win, I should rather say. But I think he can. Right, where I think he has a chance, which is it's just incredibly interesting here. How much power he can have just based on a good meme game. But I just want to point that out. And again, it doesn't matter if he's paying people to do it. It doesn't matter if people are doing it of their own free will. All that matters is he is doing it and it's effective, or rather, his supporters are doing it and this is effective. So get ready, people. We're about to enter the second great meme war. Perhaps if you're following things the way I've seen it, this will actually be, I believe, the fourth great meme war, because the second one was the CNN, when Trump posted the attack on CNN. That was kind of the second great meme war, it seems, or rather the second meme war. But there's another one coming up with the election, and it does seem to be, it's going to be a mess. I don't know what to say about it. It's going to be, who knows if it'll be even crazier than 2016, because it seems that if anything, things have scaled up, not really dropped down. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section. I just think the fact that I am seeing loads of these memes, despite having really, I haven't even Googled him before today, and yet I knew so much about him before today, before I did some, research into him, says a lot. That's good. His name is getting out there, or good for him, rather. Again, I don't really want him to win, But I think that's just something important to really point out, that the power of memes here. That if you want your candidate to win, the best thing you could do is have a good meme game. So yeah, it's going to be MAGA versus the Yang Gang. We'll see who wins. But yeah, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.